It took the jury in the Megan Boswell case 24 hours to decide her fate. And what her fate was: guilty on all 20 charges. 3 counts of first degree murder, guilty. Uh, Making false reports on 10 counts, guilty. Felony child abuse, guilty. Abusing a corpse, guilty. And she was guilty on the other charges as well. And they went straight from the guilty verdict to sentencing. And it didn't take long for the jury to come back with that. The jury is recommending 51 years in prison. So, which means she would be 65 years old when she got out of prison. And personally, she got everything that she deserved today with the guilty verdict, because she took the life of her 15-month-old baby, and everything, like I've said the last couple of videos, mirrored the Casey Anthony case. The only thing the Casey Anthony case got wrong was the not guilty verdict. What happened to Megan Boswell today should have happened to Casey Anthony back in 2008 to 2011. Casey Anthony should have been found guilty on her charges, but because of her attorney Jose Baez, who cast so much doubt on the parents in that case, the jury had no choice but to find her not guilty. And Kaylee didn't get justice. Casey Anthony's daughter Kaylee, she didn't get justice. A 4-year-old little girl never got a chance to grow up. But how I say it mirrors the Casey Anthony case. Kaylee Anthony had duct tape wrapped around her nose and mouth, basically, asphyxiation, or which is basically suffocation, wrapped in her Winnie the Pooh blanket, put in a a laundry hamper, then put in a black plastic trash bag, thrown out along the side of the road about a mile from Casey Anthony's parents' home, where her and Kaylee was living at, all because Casey's boyfriend didn't want to marry a woman with a daughter, or he couldn't see himself marrying a woman with a daughter. So Casey got her daughter out of the way to have an ideal life. I mean, she got a tattoo that said Bella Vita on it, which is Italian for beautiful life. And poor little Evelyn Boswell had aluminum foil wrapped tightly around her head. And yes, they found the fingerprints of Megan Boswell on that aluminum foil. And then she had a blanket tied really tight around her head. It was tied so tight that the impressions from the foil and the blanket was pressed into the little girl's face and head. And she didn't stop there. She put her in a black plastic trash bag and shoved her into a trash can in her dad's shed, and shoved her down in that trash can so hard that the little girl was in a backwards S shape. When she gets to prison, because of her crime, because being a baby killer, she is going to suffer from the inmates there, because the inmates in prison don't like two types of people. pedophiles and baby killers. They don't like him because there was a child involved. That's the one thing if you go to prison, you never, ever, ever do hurt a child. And that's what Megan Boswell did. She hurt a child. And she's going away for 51 years. Yeah, I'm going to be surprised if she makes it through that 51 years because of what she did to a child. And there was reports she had DCF cases. The little girl had lice in her hair. Her hair was so matted that you couldn't uh, put a comb through it or a brush through it. She was malnourished, basically failure to thrive. So, what does Megan do? Megan starts lying on everybody. She lied on Ethan Perry, and I do believe she lied to Ethan Perry that the little girl was his. I don't think it was his at all. She lied on her mom, and there was a lot of victims in this case besides the little girl. Ethan Perry was a victim uh, because of her lies and her web of deceit. Her mom was a victim because of her lies. Her dad was a victim. Her friends were victims because of her lies and her web of deceit. Cat, I do believe that Megan Boswell didn't care about nobody but herself. She didn't care about that little baby. She didn't care about she didn't care about Ethan Perry. She didn't care about her mom. She didn't care about nobody but herself. And she got today what she deserved. Going to prison for the rest of her life. If not the rest of her life, a huge chunk of her life to where when she gets out, she can't have kids. No. Because she's 20 now. She's been in jail since she was 18. So she's been in jail 2 years. And I was actually amazed how quickly the jury came back. The jury got the case. Yeah, the jury got the case on Wednesday. Verdict Thursday morning. I mean, the judge even sent the jury home Wednesday, and they came back with a verdict Thursday morning, guilty on all counts. Now, the 51 years is a suggestion by the jury. Now, the judge doesn't have to take the suggestion. The judge, if he wants to, can sentence her to life in prison without parole because she got found guilty of 3 counts of first degree murder. So the judge could take the 51 years, or he could impose his own sentence of life without parole. Either way, I've never seen a woman so deserving of the fate that she's getting because, you know, at the hands of her own mother, Evelyn Boswell was murdered at the hands of her own mother. So you won't get any sympathy out of me when it comes to Megan Boswell. What I'm happy about is little Evelyn got justice and got justice swiftly. 24 hours, verdict was reached guilty. And that's how the judicial system should be. The judicial system should dish out justice to the right people and dish it out severely. Megan Marshall was the right woman. She got what she deserved. Just like Kaylee, who could have grown up uh, and been her mom's best friend, loving her mom. Same thing for Evelyn. You have two kids whose lives were cut short because of their narcissistic mothers. Casey was a narcissist. Megan was a narcissist. Casey didn't care about anything but her boyfriend when she was in jail and before she went to jail. Tell me this, why Megan's boyfriend, Hunter Wood, while little Evelyn was missing, was taking selfies in front of furniture uh, for their new home, the new house they were getting together. And that, mind you, this was all when little Evelyn was missing. They were out doing this stuff. And what was really odd is Megan started keeping a memory box. A memory box. You don't start keeping a memory box unless your child or loved one is dead. That was really odd to me. You have a 15-month-old daughter and you're putting her stuff in a memory box, like little trinkets of hers in a memory box. That told me right there that little girl was not alive, and it was her mom who ended her life. She's getting what she deserved. She's going away for almost her whole life. She'll get out and she'll never be able to have another kid again because she doesn't deserve kids. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. While you're here, hit that subscribe button. This is Robert with True Crime Unraveled, and y'all have a good Friday. Peace.